Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
You, Bill.
Oh, well, maybe we have sound. We just don't have pictures.
We'll be dancing in the dark, walking through the park and reminiscing. It seems that way.
You know what? Here we are.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to RVing in New England. My name is John DePietro. Bob Zagami is taking some well-deserved family time tonight. And joining me is our, like what Jay Leno used to say, our permanent guest host on the show, or at least on tonight's show, Mr. Bernie Culleton. Bernie.
Hey, how's it going, John? I am so psyched to be on this show. We have quite a bang-up lineup going on here tonight, right?
Bang-up lineup. You're talking, wait a minute, Bernie.
Yeah.
When you say bang-up lineup, were you already leading into the NASCAR promo that we're going to talk about in a minute?
No, I wasn't talking about crashes and burns at this point, but maybe a little bit later on.
Okay. Maybe we want to talk about it right now.
Oh, okay.
You know, change the format as long as Mr. Sell can hear us. Mr. Sell.
He can hear us. Yeah, looks like the company I work for, Campers in RV, which I'm very proud to be working there for over 13 years now, has sponsored this colleague racing team. And it looks like they're driving a Camaro here, and it's beautiful. And let me tell you a little bit about it. It's official. Campers in RV is official RV partner with Colleague Racing. Check out AJ Almendinger new whip. I guess a whip is a Camaro, and we're very excited to be part of that whole process there. I mean, maybe they'll let me drive it. What do you think, John?
Bernie, I've driven one of those cars, and let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart by any means. But we want to say congratulations to Campers In for that sponsorship, which is going to give them some national exposure. I don't know if they're running the entire season, but I know they're doing some cup races as well as some of the second series down.
So this is the third racing team that Campers In is sponsored.
Right.
So they have Kevin Harvick. They have a partnership with him, and he's doing some brand ambassadorship for Campers In. And so a lot of our folks down south, they get to go to his races, have a good time. And I forget, you guys had him on about 4 or 5 months ago. He was a truck. He raced pickup trucks.
Right. It was for a Dometic. It was a Dometic driver. Yep.
Yeah. So I think we're associated with them as well. But
so keep your eyes open for when NASCAR comes to New Hampshire. I think it's in July.
Right.
And I'm sure that there are going to be tickets available and maybe some special promotions up at Campers Inn. But speaking of special promotions at one of our member locations is this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's the spring open house at Majors RV Center. And Jerry, you coming by to say hello? Because I'll be there on Friday. Maybe Jerry is officially retired, but maybe you can make a special guest appearance. I see
it's
Jerry.
right in his neighborhood, right? It's down near Cape.
Right. And Walter Swenson's there from cold and wet Massachusetts. But you know what? When Majors does a promotion, they have phenomenal deals, but they have the called the spin the wheel, where you can save a lot of money, where you can save from 10 or 5 to 40%. You just spin a wheel and it tells you whatever you buy, how much you can save. So stop on by. Jerry's going to swing by. And I know on Saturday they're going to have several factory representatives there demonstrating products. But Jeff and Jill and David and Liz and Chris and all the crew is going to be down there. I'm even bringing my unit down to have some service done. And
spin the wheel, John. Maybe get 40% off on service. That'd be amazing.
I don't think I would take advantage of that, but nevertheless, Campers In is got the race car, and Majors has people coming in for their great weekend. So we've got a great lineup tonight. Bernie, why don't you tell our audience who we've got coming up?
Well, tonight we have the distinct pleasure, emphasis on stink, of spending time with the Munoz family. You know,
they're say that fast again because somebody's going to think you have a speech impediment.
Yeah, I said distinct with a K, and then Emphasis on stink. Yeah, that's so. It's just a little joke, but they actually.
Why would you say that? No, I'll get you out of it. Why would you say distinct?
Distinct.
Or the stink?
Because they work with. They have a franchise of a company called Clean Tank, and they go around helping RVers clean their gray and black tanks and even their freshwater tanks. So they have a great business, and it's a great service to the RV industry and RV families. And they're full-time RVers as well. And they, Alyssa and Gabriel and their son Oliver are full-timers. They've been doing it for over 2 years now. It's a fantastic story. And I want to learn more about the Munoz family, their great business, and how, I don't know, it's something to kind of, look towards and say, hey, maybe I can do this too. I can work while I'm playing, homeschool my children. There's so much good going on with this family. It's a pleasure to be spending time with them tonight.
Well, and we're looking forward to that. And they're coming up live right around 7:30 or so.
Yeah, very excited.
We've already talked to them. They are, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be amazed at where they are and what they're doing in order to be on the show tonight. People go to great lengths to do that. And you can see I have a little different shirt on tonight. It says Camping in Ontario because we had an interview with the people who are in charge of camping in Ontario. And I'm sure that because of where we're located in New England, many of the people watching this show, I'm going to ask Walter Swenson, have you been to Ontario yet? Or Walter Swenson, do you want to stop in Ontario on your way when you head out later this summer? But we've got an interview that we taped yesterday with the executive director of Camping in Ontario, Alexandra Anderson, and she's going to be with us. But first, we forgot to say hello to Jim Conboy. Hi, Jim. Say hello to Dante. We said hello to Walter, and anyone else that has any comments, feel free to post them up there. But first, we have a live guest, 2 guests, okay? Patty and Jeff Kinsbach, who have been on the road for 3.5 years. They're joining us live. Tell us where you're coming from tonight, and then I want you to tell us all about your trip to New England, which you really enjoyed last summer.
Oh, I'll tell you, that was fantastic. We're actually right now in Maumee Bay State Park. It's a beautiful state park in Toledo, right outside of Toledo, Ohio, and it's right on Lake Erie. It's a really cool place.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Well,
So,
thanks
Jeff,
for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Bernie before said, boy, Jeff has a radio voice.
He does. He really does.
And Patty has said that Jeff has a face for radio as well.
That's really rude. I think he's ruggedly handsome.
Okay.
I don't know where you're getting that, John.
Jeff, tell us
you.
why that. Tell us what you did for a living for many, many, many decades.
Well, I actually was a morning show host. I had a morning show in Cleveland, Ohio on WMMS. And we lasted forever and just took this FM radio station to the top of the ratings and had a whole lot of fun. We did all sorts of things. We actually helped get the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to Cleveland. So if you come to Cleveland and you go through the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if you look carefully, I'm in there, and a lot of my colleagues. And it was a tremendous run. It was really a lot of fun. You couldn't have really picked a better time. The music was fantastic and personality radio, and I just worked with a lot of great people.
So Patty, I understand that you were instrumental. Get it? Instrumental radio, instrumental.
Right.
Instrumental. Those are the only things that you played going into a break, right? A little bit way back, no more. Now you go right to the second. But Patty, I believe you were instrumental in getting you two on the road.
I was. It was my idea. And my daughter and I had traveled across the country and camped. She was on her way to Los Angeles for her job, and I said I'd go with her. But we couldn't stay in hotels, which, was fine as long as I was with her. And I really enjoyed it. It was my first time camping. But, we were in a tent, and I'd see the RVs and the campgrounds, and I thought, oh, that looks kind of comfortable. And I think I'd like to do that someday. He was getting ready to retire. So I came home and I said, you know what, when you retire, let's do this. Let's sell the house. Let's sell everything and buy an RV and just get on the road and travel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I about died.
Yeah. He thought
I
I
was like,
nuts.
you want a what?
Yeah, it took him a while to kind of get
Yeah.
it
And she
going to realize.
was gone 3 months before Jeff knew she left. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
certain
Well, the
safety
stitches
net
were
that you have.
piling up.
Yeah, so Jeff, there's a certain safety net that you have to kind of break through to make that decision to get on the road full time, right? You have to say, hey,
Yeah.
wow, I got my, supermarket here, my pharmacy's over here, my doctor's over here, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden you're saying, see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
Oh, yeah.
it's a super huge decision,
Mhm.
and you really have to look at it from every angle possible as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm a spreadsheet type of guy, so you take that income, you take what's going out, and try to project and try to figure out what exactly is this going to cost us, and where are we going to go, and you try to touch as many different angles of this and look both ways as much as possible. But I was a Boy Scout and I camped a lot when I was a kid, so I love the outdoors.
Were you an Eagle
And,
Scout?
No, I wasn't. Didn't make it that far.
Didn't make
But,
it that far, but
yeah.
you still
But,
helped old ladies across the street, right, Jerry?
Oh, absolutely. I had all my badges and everything, so.
Yeah.
But I love the outdoors. Give me the mountains, give me the beaches, give me the desert.
Well, we got
live
2 out of
in
3 in New England. But no, wait a minute. We do have a desert. There is a desert in Maine, right, guys? I think there is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll tell
I
you,
don't know.
New England, we were there last summer and it was fantastic.
Oh, it's
Talk about
beautiful.
your trip. I know you started right near Cape Cod, right where the Plymouth, where the Pilgrims came.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, we were there and we enjoyed that. Just thoroughly enjoyed that. What was it? It was a Pinewoods Lodge.
Lodge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they have the best fire pits I have ever seen in this country.
Yeah.
The big stone fire pits, they're
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, it was a beautiful
Oh,
place.
wow.
Mhm. But then we made our way up the coast towards Bar Harbor, Maine,
Mhm.
and just loved it. Just all the small towns up along the way.
All the fishing
Bay
towns,
Harbor,
Gloucester,
Yeah.
Rockport,
Yep.
and Bay
Yeah.
Harbor.
Yeah, Booth Bay Harbor.
Yeah. And we literally,
Yeah, Booth Bay.
you can eat your way through New England, which is really great.
Yeah.
If you love seafood, it's a great place to go up that coast. Now, you didn't try to drive your RV in Booth Bay Harbor, right? Because those roads are about 6 feet wide.
We stayed about 6 miles from downtown.
Yeah.
Oh, good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And took the Jeep in because, you're right. And every once in a while, you see this big tour bus come in, and it's like
Shore Hill. Was that the name of it? Shore Hill.
Yeah, Shore Hill.
Shore
Right
Hill.
across from the train museum.
Yep. Mhm.
Right near there. So then you ventured over to Canada on the Cat, which is back
Yes.
this year.
The Cat Ferry.
Yep. We
And
put the big RV on the Cat Ferry.
you have to back it in.
And,
I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll try.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep, there you go. You back it in. Wow. Oh, so then you come out forward when you're in Canada.
Yeah, because it curves when you come out. The road curves, so it's like better to back in on the straightaway, and then
Yeah.
So,
But it was really a lot of fun.
Nova Scotia was beautiful.
Yeah. It was gorgeous. The ride over was fast. It only takes 3.5 hours on that Cat Ferry.
Yeah.
And you go up into the ferry, into the the lounge area, and it's like you're flying first class. It is really a fantastic ferry. It's a bit pricey, but it worked out really well.
But not Jerry. Jerry's got to know because Jerry stayed at the same place. U.S. Route 2, is that where you are?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. That's where we are.
He stayed there a while ago. But Jeff, you got to realize now you're a media guy. You should be able to get media discounts on those ferries.
I begged and pleaded. Now normally I don't get on my knees unless I got dice in my hand, but
yeah. So what would you say to other people that might be considering RVing for the first time? You came out of a pretty public. You're a public person in Cleveland, and there are a lot of people that know that you're into RVing. Do they ask you? Yeah. Should I make the jump? leap, whatever you want to call it?
We get a lot of questions. We get a lot of people who will message us. We recently went back for the RV show back in January, and we appeared there and did 6 shows, and the shows were jammed with people and lots of questions.
Yeah.
And we just try to take everybody individually and, just basically say that, yeah, this is a tough decision and only you can make it. Consider everything and anything. And if you do have, if you're on the fence, rent a van, rent a Class C, rent a Class A,
Try
rent
it out.
everything until you find something you really like, because, there's a lot of options out there,
Right.
a lot of different ways of doing this.
Bernie, I'm sure you'd agree that when you get people coming into the dealership as first timers,
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know what. They're more confused after they walk out of a Campers Inn lot than not, because there's such a wide variety of selection of.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that, a lot of folks come in and they're a deer in the headlights. They are just like amazed and confused about the whole process. And, the key is to really settle down. And like you say, you kind of put it to paper and start breaking it down into what you need and what you don't need. And, how you're going to travel, where you're going to go, and who's going to be with you, and things like that. And you have to break it all down to little pieces before you can really pick the right RV.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think you really have to be patient. Slow it down. I mean,
Sure.
We're good examples of going into an RV dealership and buying something. So it's like, okay, put the brakes on, drive everything, try everything. Think about, I mean, you get into these things and they're gorgeous. I mean, these things are fantastic, but think about if you lived in one, what it would be like. And it took us a while.
Going on vacation in one, right?
Yeah. Because it took us a while. Our relationship, we were like, well, we kind of went through a little more metamorphosis for the first, I don't know, maybe 30, 60 days.
Yeah.
Getting used to being in such close quarters.
And being together all the time. We weren't used to that up until then, but.
That's a good test for a relationship. Absolutely.
It is. Well, yeah, and they did not, you got a 36, how big is yours now?
38.
38, but you didn't start with a 38.
No, we started with a 29 foot.
Right.
So it was a lot smaller.
It can challenge your marriage a little bit more than a 38, but whatever. And
do you mind me asking what you're in now? What was the name and brand of the coach you're in?
We have a Newmar Country Star.
Oh, lovely motorhome. Yeah, full body paint. Oh yeah, gorgeous.
Yep.
Yeah, love that diesel pusher. I'll tell you.
We love it.
Oh yeah, that'll get you where you need to go for sure.
Yeah,
but that's their third unit, so they moved. Right. They gradually moved up and found that even though they had a bigger unit, the opportunity for the diesel came in, and they just spent some time in Napanee, Indiana. And anybody who's owned an RV that was at the factory for one reason or another, they were coming back this way and stopped in and had their work done. But Newmars are quality products. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
we love it.
Yeah, great service, and can't say enough good about it.
And I have my washer and dryer and a bath and a half. I mean, that helps a lot. Being full time and in a small space, and
she still makes me use the camp bathrooms, but
outside.
I'm moving up.
Go out in the middle of the night and find the bathrooms out there. But we want to thank you so much. We can let you people know, our viewers know, that if you want to find out more about Jeff and Patty, just go to RVing. That's not rocking, but ROCKING, the RVlife.com, and you can follow them in their travels across the United States. And who knows, maybe they'll be up in New England again real soon. And we want to thank you so much for being
Thank you, guys.
Been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you both.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank
you.
Now,
as we continue today, we want to let you know that we are going to go north of the border. We're going to go camping in Ontario. And let us know, folks. Have any of our guests here, have any of our audience members camped in Ontario? I think I saw Walter Swenson. He said yes, they were there a while ago. And Bernie, why don't we say hello to our other guests that have joined us?
Yeah, it looks like Don and Pat Hawes. They mentioned that they're 7 years in a 32-foot Jayco Greyhawk Class C. Now that takes some courage for sure. I'm very happy to hear that though, and that's a wonderful Class C as well. So that's a good living right there.
Yeah. So let's go to Ontario. We visited there probably 5 or 6 years ago, and have gone back several times. We love going to Ottawa. And you know what? It's the capital of the country, but it doesn't have any of that big city feel. So let's go to Ottawa. To Ontario and hear what they have to say. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to RVing in New England. You know, New England has got some great neighbors. And one of those great neighbors is right next door, a little bit to the left. Go up to Vermont, take a left, and go through New York, and you're in Ontario. And joining us is Alexandra Anderson, who is the director for camping in Ontario. Alexandra, welcome. And I'm sure that you are excited to have New Englanders back this year, huh?
Yes, we would be more than happy to have our American brothers and sisters come back across the border and say hello.
You know, people don't realize that a lot of New Englanders just go straight up to Quebec, but again, just a short distance away. If you go west of Montreal, you end up in just a couple hours later, you're in Ottawa, and then a couple hours later, you're in in Toronto. So talk about a little about the diversity of the camping opportunities up there for our friends.
And again, we offer very, very similar. Our season is very similar to the campground operations in New England. We have, you can go backwoods camping. You go canoe camping up here. We have a lot of rustic opportunities. We also have, we cater to pull-through sites with 50 amp. If you want to sit and pull your RV up to the side of Lake Ontario, well, we can accommodate that as well. I think what we can offer to our New England friends, which is a different experience, is we like your beaches. We too have wonderful beaches up here, except there's one big difference. We don't have salt in the water. So I would love to have our friends come up and sample our beaches and sort of say, hey, how does this compare? Sabo Beach, for example, is 7 miles of sand, and that's sitting in Lake Huron. Georgian Bay Wasaga Beach is world renowned, and it's it's longer. It's actually longer than Sabo Beach. And then our world famous sandbanks is also white sand. So, if you are beach people, come and check out our beaches, because you know what, it's a very different experience, and and we don't have salt water.
Yeah, exactly. So effectively, since COVID, the border regulations have changed a little bit in that you do need a valid passport, right? To get in now.
That changed before COVID. But yeah, just get your passport and come north. And it's really our border crossings are pretty efficient these days. And it's not that we have a lot of border crossings, particularly between New York State and Ontario. Thousand Islands, and I think what the difference is about our border crossings is our border crossings are placed in, quite frankly, some of the most gorgeous areas.
Right, you're right.
Right. Coming in over the Thousand Islands is probably one of the most gorgeous entries to either of our countries that you can really have, or drive across the Rainbow Bridge in Niagara Falls. I don't know if there's anything more spectacular than that, and getting stuck on traffic and looking across and getting a view of both of the falls. So, that to me is always a special one, because it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, exactly. 2 views and whatever. So if people want to find out more information about Ontario online, where can they go, Alexandra?
So to look at the private and municipally owned parks, you can come to our website at www.campinginontario.ca. Our provincial parks are at www.ontarioparks.ca. And then our national parks are parkscanada.ca. Most of our parks have online reservations. Strongly recommend, so that you don't get disappointed, to do some reservations before, because of the popularity of some parts of the province.
Great. Hey, we want to thank you so much, and let our New England folks know that we're heading to Canada this summer, and I hope you'll join us, and look forward to our visit to Ontario. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow, John, I couldn't believe her describing some of those beautiful landscapes and attractions over there as you cross the border. I can't imagine. I just was writing it all down because it's going right on the bucket list.
Yep. Well, and the interesting thing, Bernie, it's funny you say that, because if we've been from New England to Montreal, the landscape changes totally when you cross the Vermont border into Quebec. But ironically, also, or I shouldn't say ironically, but geographically, the landscape and terrain in Ontario resembles New England more than Quebec. So it's
with that
great
7 Mile Beach and 1,000 Islands and all that stuff. I mean, it just sounds like just like fairy tale land, for an RVer. And, especially if you're like on, a backpacker, a hiker, one of these kind of more, rustic kind of camping. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great time. And with that being said, I know, Bernie, that you have some guests standing by.
Yeah.
We want to give you that opportunity to bring them on.
Well, are we going to do a break, or is there no break tonight?
No, we're going to go right into it. We do want to let people know that you are watching RVing in New England. Mr. Zagami is spending some family time tonight. And Bernie, introduce your
Great.
friends.
Hey, Gabe, Alyssa, and Oliver Munoz, thank you so much for joining our show. And I just want to give the people a little heads up as to who you are before they get to know you. So this is the second set of guests tonight that are full-time RVers who live, work, educate, play, and RV. You see Gabriel and Alyssa raised their 9-year-old son, Oliver, who's right in there. How you doing, Oliver?
Hi.
Yeah, and they raise them in a very unique and interesting way. They live.
Bernie, let me stop you for 1 second.
Yeah.
I think it's important to point out that they are not homeless living in a pickup truck.
No.
They are definitely not.
We even have photos of that camper that they live in. But they realize that, where are you, in Arizona?
We're in Cottonwood. It's an hour south, or about 30 minutes south of Sedona, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
So we're in a valley, and currently where our rig is, it's very poor signal. So we had to come up to the top of the hill and park off the side of the road.
Yep, and that's why you're there. That's why you're
right.
there. We wanted to.
Yeah, so, while they're RVing full-time, they also have a job that helps RVers with their gray tanks and black tanks. So they represent a company called Clean Tank, and they go all over the place. Yeah, go ahead, John.
You were saying about the stink thing before?
Yeah, so it's a
We don't
distinct.
stink here.
It's a distinct pleasure, right? Yeah.
No stink here, but distinct, yes. We have the distinct pleasure of stink here too.
Yeah, we're just pulling your leg, but I'm so proud of you folks and the way you live and how you do all of this. So thanks for joining us today on the RVing in New England show. So how are you guys? You're looking great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're a little tired. We just finished up a Grand Design rally down in Tucson. So we're doing a little recovery time right now.
Now it's family time.
Yeah, a little family
Yeah,
time.
now a little family time. But I'm going to take you off of family time for a minute. Tell us a little bit about that rally and what you did there while you were there.
Go ahead.
So the rally is where we get to meet a lot of RVers and enjoy the RV community. And we also get to make sure that they know about healthy holding tanks and how to keep them healthy, and give a seminar and make some money as well. That's how we stay on the road. But the best part of it is the community that that we get. We met so many great people in
Did you
Tucson,
meet
and
Don
we're
Clark?
so excited.
Did you meet Don Clark? Was Don Clark there?
No, not this time, but he has been at other rallies.
Yeah. How many rigs were there?
144.
Yep.
Well, that's a good sized crowd.
And we cleaned 51 of them?
53.
53 of them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
There
fantastic.
was 80 newbies, green folks that are new to the RV living, some of them full timers, and a lot not, just the weekend warriors.
That's fantastic.
So
You
tell
know,
us-
you have several other events planned this year, right?
Yes, we do. We are going to Utah next to the Kanab Rally with Grand Design, followed up with Oregon, Washington, back to Oregon, Idaho, Texas,
Wyoming.
Gillette, Wyoming for the FMCA rally there.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, John, if it's okay with you, before we get too deep into what they do, and I almost went off the deep end on that conversation too, but let's talk a little bit more about you, your relationship with Oliver, what you do day to day to make sure that he keeps up with his studies and keeps growing up to be a good kid,
That's right. Our job is to make sure that he becomes a good adult and becomes a good person. We always say, be a good person, make good decisions, say your prayers, just to make sure that he gets that. But on the day-to-day, he gets his lessons. We do book work for reading or language arts and math, and then he does current events. We use the national parks, state parks, for the natural sciences, and also to experience whatever state we're in, so he knows about each place that we visit.
Oh, that's fantastic. I noticed you brought both dogs with you today. Can you introduce them to us as well?
This is the newest addition. This is Ranger. He's a mini Aussie. He's 4 months old.
He's handsome. Oh my goodness.
He's very handsome.
Yeah, how
Thor's
about
in the back seat. Thor. Oh, good boy. Hey. Okay.
He's a little camera shy today.
Yeah, he's being a little shy, but he did it anyway. Oh man, look at that. So you didn't bring the cat with you to the interview, I guess.
That would be too much. We're the traveling funny farm.
That puppy looks like he loves attention, loves mommy's hugs. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. He is a crowd gatherer for sure.
He's a crowd pleaser.
All right. So, and John, jump in whenever you want. But what is the RV you've been spending? What is it? The last almost 2.5 years in?
Yes.
That's
it's
fantastic.
a Grand Design, a 2021 Grand Design Transcend 297 QB. It's a
I love that
36-foot travel trailer with a bunkhouse in the back. But if you look inside our rig right now, it wouldn't look like a 297.
We've done some remodeling.
Did some remodeling. Now you've been in it for almost 800 days. How's it holding up?
It's
great.
It's holding up great, but we're ready.
It's getting smaller.
It's getting smaller.
Well, you guys keep putting more stuff in it, more dogs, more whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just life changes, and
someone's getting bigger. We got a new pet.
I got you.
We started a business.
So the 297. Oh, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Does it have a bunk for him?
It does.
It was a quad bunk, but we kind of gutted it and set up so he's got his bed, but he's got more floor space inside.
Okay. And that's
it's like having a mid bunk in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, a mid bunk. Okay, not the opposite end from where you guys are.
Oh, it is.
It is. He's on the back end.
Okay, so let's talk to him for a second, Oliver. It's got to be pretty cool that when you look at science magazines and travel magazines, you don't just see the pictures, but you've been there, and you're all of 9 years old, almost 10, right, buddy?
Yeah, almost 10.
Almost 10. So you get to see a lot of the stuff that most kids your age only get to look at in National Geographic or whatever. How does that make you feel?
I guess special.
Okay. Have you ever been to was he in school, in a traditional school before you hit the road?
For a short period of time.
Very short period of time. Kindergarten for a couple months, and then that was it.
Okay.
Then COVID happened.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So either way, you were out. You're out. And then you hit the road after that. What, in August of 2020?
It kind of pushed us over the
Yes.
top to make that decision to go ahead and do it.
Yes.
Yep. What did you do when you were back in a
Sticks and bricks.
home-based environment? Yeah.
So I worked as an interventional radiology technologist. It's kind of an OR setting in the hospital, and I've done that for almost 4 years now, and recently just stopped in January.
Okay.
So,
And Oliver, what did you do for work?
Me or Oliver?
I was joking. Yeah.
You fed the
Oliver,
dog.
let me ask you this. Do you have jobs at the campsite? Do you have jobs in the RV that you have to keep up with?
Free.
3 of them. What are those?
First, like feed the animals, and second, do schoolwork, and third is at rallies, to draw the tickets.
That's not a chore, though.
It is a chore.
It's a job for you.
He participates in the rallies. They usually call on him to be the raffle drawer or.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when you go to Las Vegas, you'll have a head start on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He has no idea what I'm talking about, but that's fine.
No.
I got no idea.
So, Dad, what was your deal?
Stay home, Dad, for a little while. Before we moved around a little bit, but I was in management of a retail store.
Okay. And the decision to do the RV thing, where did that emanate from?
So I used to watch a whole lot of YouTubes, and it was an era where Less Junk, More Journey, Keeping Your Daydream, Finding Your Someday all started out, and I was binge watching those, and I really wanted to do it. So we researched, went to the Tampa RV show, picked out our rig a bunch of different times, and
hold on, time out. The Tampa show was the first one you went to?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
wow.
I know.
Didn't that blow your mind?
It is huge. Yes, we were lost a few times, even though we had a map. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Anybody who knows Tampa, Bob and I went down there this past January. He's been there on several occasions. You can't see from one end to the other. It's a mile or so, from one end to the other. And they jam those RVs in so close to each other that it
becomes like a maze to go around.
Right. Oh, exactly. To try to get out. So from that.
Yeah, with all those selections, it must have been really hard to really come up and pick a camper. But let me ask you this, because before you got started in this whole thing, what kind of revelation or epiphany did you have to say, hey, honey, we're doing this? How did that come about?
There is just so much to see in the United States alone that I love seeing it through this guy's eyes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Being in Arizona right now, going to the Grand Canyon, seeing how amazing it was for him, and him telling us that this is mind-blowing, which if you've been to the Grand Canyon, it's mind-blowing.
It is. And, I think with the Grand Canyon is one of those few places that in person, it's much better than it shows up in the tourist magazines.
Yes, it really is. And when on our route to the Grand Canyon, we were watching on the History Channel, there's a documentary about the Grand Canyon and how it was formed. So he was able to watch that and then go see it.
As we're driving in.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. What an experience. How about multiplying the learning experience right there?
Right.
It's funny. Bill's been showing a couple of pictures while you guys are talking a little bit, and with a little bit of comedy. It's funny because it shows you actually at 2 degrees, shivering to death. And I'm saying, you guys are out there. You're not just following the sun and all this other stuff. You are living in your RV.
That was in Colorado.
That was in Colorado. We went to the hot springs. It's by the National Park, Sand Dunes National Park, and it was cold as be. But we went. Alyssa and I went in the hot springs.
we wanted to test our rig and see how cold it could handle. It can handle the cold.
Yeah,
That's
surprising.
fantastic. Hey, one of our guests had a question for you, Steve Hogan. He said, "Did they do skywalk? Do you know what that means?"
No, we haven't done that yet.
Well,
So when we went,
yeah, the interesting thing, people think that the Grand Canyon, everybody ascends on the same area. I mean, it's hundreds of miles. You can be at one end of it, and the other end of it, where that, I think he's referring to that glass.
Yeah.
Walk out on. It can be hundreds of miles away, and you can still be. I know when we left from Flagstaff, I think that's where we left from. Route 66, right?
Yeah,
right there. I
way
forget.
far from there right now.
Yeah. What town is that? It's not Flagstaff. It's Anderson or something, whatever it is. But that's a good question, Steve. And Steve also asked, what sold you on the Grand Design?
on the Grand Design, you can get full-time insurance on the Grand Design. That was a big thing for us. We wanted to make sure that we could get full-time insurance, as it is our home. We're living in it.
Right.
Thank you, Walter Swenson. You know, ladies and gentlemen, or you guys there, our guest, I don't know if you can, because we've got an audience here that's asking questions.
Oh.
And you know what? I asked that question, what's the name of that town? And Walter just, Williams, Arizona.
He is Mr. Information. Yeah. That guy knows everything about everything. So
you see the trains that were all there? That Grand Canyon Railroad?
No, when we went, it was April, so a lot of it was still closed.
Still closed, yeah.
So we went to Ooh-Ah Point and did some hikes, and of course went to the visitor center.
Yeah.
So I know you folks had this kind of a nom de guerre called Two Traveling Techs for a little while, because you were helping people with their RVs and stuff. What transitioned you folks into joining Clean Tank? And then it seems like it's kind of exploding for you in a good way, so.
Ernie, don't use, when you talk about holding tanks, the last word you want to use is explode.
Yeah.
Because anybody who has been attacked by a black tank.
Yeah, Robin Williams to be, yeah.
Well, and John DePietro has been attacked by a black
tank. I'm sorry, buddy.
And right, guys, it's right. Oliver likes that. Have you been attacked yet by a tank yet, Oliver? No.
Thankfully, no.
Thankfully, no. You're a smart man. Go ahead.
So anyway. We were at a Grand Design rally in Myrtle Beach last year in May, and Clean Tanks was one of the vendors there. So we have been thinking about RV school, and we saw that, and we really liked the idea of starting up with that. Found out it's a family-run business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good networking business. We all come together and help each other. When the leads come in, I get a phone call from a customer that says, "Hey, I'm going to be over in this area. Are you going to be in this area?" "No, but I got another dealer in this area." And we link them up together and make sure we can get them taken care of.
It was a great introduction to a new dealer at the time, and then we were also able to meet the parent company, Jim and Debbie, and we just connected from there, and we continued talking until it was our time to train. Now, we are authorized dealer of Clean Tank, or we are called Clean Tank on the Road number 3, and it's fitting because there's 3 of us, and then we got the 3 for...
And we got 3 pets.
No. You got to change your name. Clean Tank on the Road number 2.
Oh, we are the number 1 and the number 2 business, though.
Right.
Yep. The business of doing business, yeah.
And Pat Hawes says sarahmusen.com. Sue Rasmussen.com. Okay. That must be somebody that the Hawes know. We'll check with that out in a minute.
Well, I noticed earlier today, I posted a little promo for the show, and a lot of your Clean Tank colleagues were all over that. They were liking it like crazy. So tell me a little bit, like, what makes you a dealer? Is that something different where you actually help train new people or something like that as well? Or how's this whole business work?
Some of us do. There are 4 of us that are training dealers, the parent company, and 3 other dealers. And everybody that wants to be a part of Clean Tank is vetted. We want to make sure that it's continued a family business. That's one of our important to us, because we want to continue on as a family. And it takes a family, it takes a village to raise, this guy. We
Yeah,
want to make sure that he's
absolutely.
brought into something good too.
All right, fantastic. So that's good that you've already kind of gone up a notch in that company, and I'm really proud of you folks for doing that. Oh yeah, it shows you here kind of talking about the tanks. Tell us a little bit what you would be telling the potential customer and or just an RVer in general at one of these meetings.
Well, we do like to tell everybody that water is your friend. Don't be afraid to use it. The more water, the better. Just don't overflow, and watch your sensors. And don't worry, your sensors are, they can become working again. Just call one of our clean tank dealers. We'd be more than happy to help, educate, and make sure that you have a happy camping life with those wonderful holding tanks. Ranger wants to
Amazing
say
how
hi.
you can multitask, Alyssa. It really is. Getting your face licked and keep a conversation going. That's fantastic.
Right? It's a mama's
And
life.
Dante is asking, what is a typical fee for cleaning a tank? I know it differs from unit to unit, but ballpark.
Bar Park is 2 grays, 1 black. Typically it starts at $300. We do have rally pricing. We do some discounts for veterans and first responders. But typically it's about $300. It takes an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete the process, but we get them back to factory clean, and we teach you how to keep them that way.
And the GL method, I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
The competition. No.
So what I can say, what we recommend is using lots of water. What we use on our travel days, we like to use a 32-ounce bottle, and we put a 1/4 cup of Calgon, whether it be Calgon pearls, Calgon bath beads, and then we also do 10 ounces or 1.5 cups of pine sol, and the rest of the bottle filled with water. Now you're going to shake that up gently, so sometimes it will foam, and then depending on your tanks, if you have 45 gallons or less, you're going to put 1/2 cup in each of those, your tanks, from the inside. So down your sink, in the bathroom, the kitchen, and in the shower, and in your black tank as well. If it's more than 45 gallons, go ahead and put a cup. And then fill that up with at least 10% of the tank's water. So if you have a 45 gallon, put at least 5 gallons of water. And then let the solution, the pine sol is going to help deodorize, and the Calgon is going to help lubricate to keep everything not sticking to the tank's walls.
So that's after you clean it. Okay.
If it's slick, it won't stick.
There you go.
Wow. So Calgon does take you away.
Adds a little bit of that film.
Yeah, see, most of the time, the reason sensors don't work is because of debris being on it. It's because the tanks have dried out. So when the tanks dry out, it has an opportunity to stick. You can keep this tank slick, nothing sticks.
And like Calgon says, take it away.
Exactly. Helps keep things moving.
There you go.
Yeah. That's
Somebody says, I use Blue Dawn instead of Pine Sol.
That's good for washing it out, but it won't lubricate it.
And it won't deodorize it as well either. Pine Sol really has a fresh pine scent.
Yep.
Yes, the lemon and the lavender are my favorite.
Oh, there you go. It's great. So you're not using these harsh chemicals. You're using stuff that you can buy on the shelf. Probably cost a lot less. So when you get that $300 service, you're getting a permanent solution by using your techniques. That's fantastic.
People need to keep in mind these are holding tanks and not septic tanks.
Yes.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So tell us why that's different than a septic tank, because septic kind of leaches out and stuff. But tell me a little bit more what you mean by that.
Well, to start off, a septic tank, you don't have air in a septic tank, and it creates gases. Our holding tanks, you have 3 holes in all of those tanks. You have an input, an output, and then the hole that releases all the gases. With that, the products that are used for septic tanks, it creates a sludge at the bottom of the tanks. And your sensors are near the bottom of your tank, but also at the outlet. So that sludge becomes like a pancake batter, like day old pancake batter that's stuck in after camping, you want to have fun and don't want to clean the bowl. And that's in your holding tanks. And it creates clogs, and it creates a not for a happy camping trip.
So as the enzymes break down the solids, it's actually creating this sludge as a byproduct, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Well, that doesn't seem that good. Yeah.
No.
So it doesn't rinse out.
We don't want stuff breaking down our tanks. We want it going out as fast as it came in.
Yes.
It's just there to hold it temporarily until you can dump it.
And then get it out.
Get it out.
Right.
Get it in, get it out. Or get it out and get it out. Twice.
Yes.
Twice. Yeah.
Well, you're saying
anything more with these guys? Have we put down their
I
contact?
think we did a lot, and I'm so psyched that you guys were able to join us.
Thank you for having us.
We've been staying in touch for the last couple of years. It's been exciting to watch you guys grow and develop as a family and add more furry friends to the mix. And you horse around too. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I do.
So in our travels, real quick on the horses, in our travels when Alyssa was doing medical contracts at 13 weeks at a time, we would enroll him in horseback riding. So he's done it in Washington, Arizona, and North Carolina.
Well, the horse seems to be having a good time. He's laughing like Wilbur.
Yeah.
He was listening to your jokes. Yeah. So how about a website they can contact you guys at?
Sure. You can go to cleantank.com. If you're looking to get your tank serviced, you can do an inquiry there. They'll link you up by location to one of our authorized dealers across the country. If you want to get directly in contact with us, you can reach me at gabe.munoz@cleantank.com, as well as our social media, Facebook, Clean Tanks on the Road #3. And our LLC is Two Travel Techs as well.
Two Travel
LLC.
Techs, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That's for a lot of
If you want to follow us as a family, go to True Travel Tech. If you want more information about getting your tanks or tips and tricks, come to our cleantanks.com.
You can also go to askcleantank.com. There's a lot of information, a lot of frequently asked questions that you can go there to get your questions answered, but just get new tips as well.
Thanks, folks.
And for the recipe as well. For those who couldn't get the recipe, it's also online on our website for the Calgon Pine Sol mixture.
Fantastic.
Hey, and tell people what the temperature is outside your vehicle.
Right now, sorry to tell you, but it's 78 degrees and beautiful.
Yeah, because you came out of 100-degree weather last week.
Yeah, for the rally, it was brutal. I got that farmer's tan.
Yeah, there you go.
It's been raining here for about a week and a half.
So we want to thank you so much for joining us, and
thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can go have supper, and Bernie and I got a couple more things to discuss, and we'll go from there.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
So, Bernie, one of the things that just hit the streets yesterday was the KOA North American Camping and Outdoor Hospitality Report.
That's right.
If you've had a chance to see it yet, but there's some amazing things going on in this industry. And, one of the things,
the picture there, John.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know what happened, but
did you accidentally unplug your camera? Well, it's all right. I can hear your lovely voice, so don't worry about it.
Well, we're better off not seeing me anyway. Oh, wait a minute. You have to do this. Go ahead. Go ahead with that, and we'll. There we go.
Yeah. So there was a couple of things that really kind of struck me on this report. Is that even during an economic downturn, which we're kind of having a small one, it's a soft landing or whatever you want to call it, whatever the professionals are calling it. But RVers plan to use their rigs even more during this economic downturn. And I think it makes sense. People, they wonder why the RV industry keeps on moving forward. It's because, it's still with that monthly payment on your camper and then, renting a site, you can bring your own food, create your own entertainment. You're not paying $300 to $500 a night for a hotel room, then another $300 or $500 a night to feed you a week to feed your family. Yeah. You can bring your groceries with you, make your own food, create your own fun. RVing is just the way to do it for sure.
Yep. And now you're talking about people that have a tendency to save money that way, but at the same time, that same report said that campers are spending
Sorry about that.
52 billion with a B dollars outside of the campground, and that is absolutely amazing. And I think our audience will probably agree that the money that you put into the local economy is so much greater than you think it is. I mean, you're buying fuel, so maybe you're spending $50 to $75 to $100. You're going, and even if you're going to eat at the campsite, you may have gone to the local grocery store to get that food.
Or the farmer's market, right?
Farmer's market.
You're getting all the local kind of delicacies and lovely products that are available right there. The liquor store.
Local attractions and that type of thing. So
absolutely.
RVers are good guests because they pack up and leave. You don't need libraries. You don't need parking lots. You don't need extra police and fire because they come in, spend money in your marketplace, and then they head out. So
they bring their laundry with you. You don't need housekeeping after they leave. RVers, generally speaking, clean up after themselves really nicely, and they respect the campground. And they respect the next RVer who's coming to that campsite.
Exactly. Hey, the person that we forgot to acknowledge, the person who's pressing all the buttons tonight, is our friend Bill. Bill, put the camera on yourself there for a second and take a bow.
Hey, Bill.
Hi there.
Good job, buddy. Thank you so much. Doing a great job.
No way that we could do this show without Bill Sell. And, next week it's going to be a special week because Bob and I will be in Elkhart, Indiana. And we will be reporting live
from the show floor.
From the Keystone factory in Elkhart. And we've got some brand new units that we're seeing for the first time ever that will be debuted right here on RVing in New England. And, Keystone's been doing a great job with not just making RVs, but helping people camp. And that's so important because, Bernie, I know you know that, you sell the RVs, but people only deal with you for a short period of time before they go out and enjoy that entertainment center that you sold to them called a travel trailer, a motorhome, a class A, B, C, whatever you want to call it. But, it's been cool.
So you're right. I'm really psyched that a lot more manufacturers are getting on board with after-sale contact with the customers. So they're spending more time. Keystone's a great company with that. They have great customer service. And, our friend Willie Miller is with Heartland and all the things that they're doing, Grand Design, they're really stepping it up. So it's RV manufacturers are getting on board with meeting the expectations of their customers. So that's fantastic. I'm very excited about all that.
Yep. So with that being said, let's say good evening to everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. And you know what? If you go camping in Ontario, there's a whole bunch of places that just go back and you can look at the repeat of this show, which will be available at 8:01. And it has all those addresses for the Ontario tourism, as well as if you need something to do with your tank. There's the clean tank people that you can talk to. And we'll go from there.
And if you like the show, share that link that you can get in NERVDA on Facebook. Share that link with your friends. Say, hey, look, this is a good show. It's very informative. And maybe you want to learn something about this stuff. So if you can share that, we'd greatly appreciate it.
On behalf of Bob Zagami and Bill Sell and Mr. Bernie, Uncle Bernie, as he calls himself, we are going to say good evening and let's go RVing. And for those of you that are around this weekend, stop down to Major's RV on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I'll be there Friday 9 to noon and look forward to seeing you guys. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thanks, John. Good job.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.